Did you know? Rurouni Kenshin. Did you know? There are a ton of tokusatsu actors in the Rurouni Kenshin live-action films. You probably already know that Sato Takeru got his big breakthrough with Kamen Rider Deno, but there are way more tokusatsu actors involved. Quick note, tokusatsu is a reference to Sentai or Super Sentai shows, like the Power Rangers, you know those. There, now you get it. Ochiai Motoki, who plays a random police officer, also played Tetsuo in Kamen Rider Deno. Kikawa Koji, who plays Jine, was Kamen Rider Skull and even sang the songs for Kamen Rider W and Kabuto. Hirata Kaoru, who plays Tai, was Majired's love interest in Maji Ranger. Sudo Genki, who plays Banjin, was Izumi Kyosui in Kamen Rider W. Interesting to note is that his character is described as an eccentric gay man. And in real life, Sudo is actually a retired kickboxer and a practicing Buddhist. And he is the producer of his own techno-style music group. Oh, Japan. Kubota Masataka, who plays Kiyosato, was Keita from Keitai Sosakan 7. Saito Yosuke, who plays the chief of police, was Priest Akaza in Garo Red Requiem. Ayano Go, who plays Gain, played Spider Orphanok in Kamen Rider Faizu. Yamasaku Jun, who plays Man in Western Clothes, was Hojo Toru in Kamen Rider Agito and Centipede Orphanok on Kamen Rider Faiz. Arifuku Masahi, who plays an Oriental doctor, was Don Katayama in Gao Ranger. Miura Ryosuke, who plays Cho, played Ankh from Kamen Rider 000 and Tiger Orphanok from Kamen Rider Decade. Murata Mitsu, who plays Usui, was Bishop from Kamen Rider Kiva, Doji from Kamen Rider Hibiki, and Naito from Kamen Rider Wizard. Taketo Tanaka, who played Yahiko in the first film, played Lapis in Kamen Rider Game. Also, did you know? The reason why they didn't keep Tanaka-kun as Yahiko in the sequel movies is actually because he had gotten too old to play the part. I didn't want to believe it myself, but look at this. He was 12 years old when he played Yahiko. A year later, he followed into his fellow RuroKen film actor's footsteps to play in a Kamen Rider series. This is from 2013 to 2014. Puberty hit him hard. Also, he was CL Phantom High from the Black Butler series in the awful musical rendition of Kuroshitsuji. That's Black Butler in Japanese. Strangely enough, his replacement Kaito Oyagi is the exact same age as Tanaka-kun, except, well, Oyagi-kun seems to be developing a bit slower. Did you know? When the fishermen see the Rengoku, they run off to the village and shout, "A black ship! A black ship!" referring to the actual historical event when Captain Perry came sailing into Japan on a black ship, which happened to end Japan's 200 years of total isolation to the rest of the world. Did you know? Nobuhiro Watsuki was first in line to have Sato Takeru play the role of Kenshin. He stated, "When this project just started, my wife and I were talking about who would suit the role of Kenshin. And Sato Takeru-san was the one who came up in our minds first. So when it was confirmed that he would be taking the role, I was surprised but was also very happy. I'm looking forward to seeing his wonderful acting." Director Keiichi Otomo also holds a great respect for Takeru Sato. Here's what he had to say on Takeru-san as an actor. "There are roles that mark a turning point in an actor's career. The encounter of Takeru Sato and Kenshin was an encounter of very rare timing. A miracle among miracles, I think. He played an assassin in Ryomaden, and the extension of that line intersected with my going independent. For Takeru, it was a once-in-a-lifetime role. A lot of things had to be perfectly timed for that to happen." And here's where Keiichi Otomo explains how Rurouni Kenshin took form as compared to the classic Akira Kurosawa masterpiece, The Seven Samurai. When Akira Kurosawa was going to make The Seven Samurai, he said he wanted it to be like steak with butter melted over it. He was absolutely not going to serve his audience just rice and hot tea. That was the sense in which he made his movie. But now, even The Seven Samurai strikes people brought up by computer games as long and slow. Times have changed. They don't have the stomach for a meal like that. So how do you feed the computer game generation so they feel full? That's what I'm trying to do with the Rurouni Kenshin movies. Did you know the first Rurouni Kenshin film, Rurouni Kenshin Meiji Kenkaku Romantan, received an international total gross of $61.7 million US. Among a list of Western films, it became Japan's 16th highest grossing film of the year. Rurouni Kenshin Kyoto Taika Hen grossed a total of $52.9 million on an international level. Rurouni Kenshin Densetsu no Saigo Hen grossed a total of $42.7 million, also on an international level. The budget for both sequel films is estimated at 3 billion yen, which doesn't sound as impressive as $25 million, so all of the films clearly turned a big profit. Did you know? Tanigaki Kenji is the man responsible for the amazing action scenes, as he fulfilled the role of the action director. He was also responsible for the stunt coordination work on Blade 2, and on a much more impressive note, Dragon, or Wuxia, which is a film starring none other than action star supremo Donnie Yen. He actually worked under Donnie Yen, and even became the first Japanese member of Jackie Chan's Hong Kong Stuntman Association. For these films, he revealed that the secret to creating the high-speed action scenes look so good is the fact that the weapons actually hit their mark. They're not swinging real swords at each other, that would be crazy. Still, prop weapons can inflict some serious damage, so they made use of padded clothing or barely noticeable body armor that softened the blows. Did you know? With just a few exceptions here and there, all of the actors in all three films did their own stunts, especially Sato Takeru, who absolutely reveled in the stunt coordination work, often practicing over and over again with his fellow stars just to get everything right, down to the smallest detail. During filming, Aoki Munetaka even lost one of his teeth. During a Filipino interview, he said he didn't mind, since he's Sanosuke. Well, he did get his tooth fixed up though, as he's still Aoki Munetaka. Did you know? They didn't use any CG in the films. All of the stunts are done with practical effects, such as some excellent usage of wire stunts and actual kenjutsu. It's kind of funny, as Nobuhiro Watsuki once commented on the possibility of a Rurouni Kenshin live-action film way before the first film was even in production, that it just wouldn't work. He imagined that they'd need to use a lot of CG for the techniques done in the series, and that the technology at the time just wasn't good enough to make it stand the test of time. Now, as we all know, they abandoned the idea of using CGI altogether. Did you know? Contrary to the flashy effects and text of the anime and manga, many of the techniques used throughout the films are not explained, nor are they directly named. A few important ones are missing, most notably Sanosuke and Anji's Futai no Kiwami, but plenty of them are still here, especially Kenshin, who has the most time to show off his techniques. Did you know? In Densetsu no Saigo Hen, when Hoji is reciting the names of a list of people that Kenshin killed, he mentions Jubei Shigekura and Kiyosato Akira. For the uninitiated, or those that simply don't remember, Kiyosato was the fiancé of Tomoe, while Jubei was Kiyosato's senior officer. They show a flashback scene of this in the film, and you can also see Kenshin killing them in the anime OVA Tsuyokuhen. And as far as the animated story went, this was one of the first times we got to see just how brutal Hitokiri Batosai actually was. Did you know? Just like with the tokusatsu roles for most of the actors in these films, there are quite a few of the main cast and crew that has worked together in a previous epic samurai series, Ryomaden. Ryomaden is the 49th NHK Taiga drama. Yeah, they create a lot of these. And takes place during 19th century Japan. First off, there is director Keiichi Otomo, who directed Ryumaden and was responsible for the casting. Then we have Naoki Sato, who created the music and whose excellent tunes you've been listening to throughout this entire video so far. Sato Takeru, Aoki Munetaka, Yu Aoi, Yusuke Isaya, Min Tanaka and Tsuchiya Tao all had a role in Ryumaden and had themselves a little reunion when rejoining forces to do Rurouni Kenshin. The titular character of Ryumaden is Fukuyama Masaharu, who completes the reunion to play Seijiro Hiko. Also, did you know? Masaharu Fukuyama, the man responsible for playing Kenshin Sensei, Seijiro Hiko, also has an active singing career. He's made records from 1990 to 2014. Did you know? For the creation of the Rurouni Kenshin sequels, the crew utilized filming techniques that were never before seen in Japanese films. During certain scenes, the cameras themselves are suspended from wires. The best examples are when Kenshin is running along the rooftops and the entrance of Sojiro during the purgatory scene. Also, did you know? The set for that very same purgatory scene took 5 months to plan and build, modeled after the largest French, British and Russian battleships of the time. The set is 120 meters long and 20 meters wide. Did you know? For Shishio's entrance scene at the start of Kyoto Inferno, they burnt a total of 2,000 logs to film the entire thing. The scene was filmed at Oyaishi Quarry in Tochigi Prefecture. Fiery blast furnace symbolizes Shishio's ambition and the incredible power with which he is prepared to discard everything and accomplish his goals. Did you know? You might have noticed Kenshin donned several different outfits throughout all the films. How many different ones did you count? 3, 4, 5 perhaps? While the color differences and variations don't necessarily differ that much, Takeru Sato did wear over 100 costumes. The changing colors of Kenshin's costumes obviously play a part in the story, expressing his changing emotional state. He begins at the Kamiya Dojo in red, changing to navy blue as he comes closer to his Batosai persona, and then to the white of atonement. Did you know? In the films, Shishio's bandages aren't really bandages at all. It's a full bodysuit made to look like bandages. Tatsuya Fujiwara had to go through 10 fitting sessions to get the suit just right. Did you know? Nobuhiro Watsuki was prepared to make huge cuts and big changes for Kyoto Inferno when the legend ends. He made up his mind to let Keiichi Otomo do his thing and respect his opinion. Watsuki commented that the script has got everything into it very nicely. He was also very pleased with the way the action scenes were brought to life. On the character of Shishio, he said, "Because Shishio's face is covered in bandages, I thought it would require an actor who could bring a very strong emotion to his performance. I met Mr. Fujiwara just before filming started, and he'd already gotten into the role, so he was kind of frightened. And I went, he's the guy. Mr. Isaya's perfect for his role too, and he's great in it." He concluded saying, "Purgatory had to really jump out at you in this film, but in the original manga there was nothing for them to draw on. Unfortunately, it was just an exit point with no real action. I'm really happy they adopted it, but the movie is very close to the original, so I hope that audiences will feel very close to it." And that's it for this episode of Did You Know? Rurouni Kenshin. I tried to cram as many facts into this episode as I could, which is probably why this turned out into the longest Did You Know episode so far. Now, don't forget to like this video if you found it interesting or entertaining, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on new videos, and check us out on Facebook, Twitter and RuroKen.com. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Shut up. That's my cat. Yes, get comfortable on my lap. There you go. Sleep. Hey, kitty. I'm doing the script. Come on. Okay? Yeah? You're so cute. No.